Hello everyone, welcome to Man United Bonafide. This is the fan channel where we speak about everything about Manchester United. We speak about the rivalries, the banters and every other thing. First of all, a happy new year to you. Hoping you have crossed into the year well. I crossed at church where I worship, and I'm hoping you did make your crossing over count. We are into the new year. Half of the season is gone, and now we are starting the year. And what a game! Not just a year, but another decade, as a matter of fact. And what a way to start this decade! It doesn't get any better than Arsenal versus Man United. Even though both teams are far from their very best, even though both teams are not looking as good as they should be, even though both teams are not what they used to be. The past decade has clearly been hard for both teams. A few things have not been working. The coaching staff, the recruitment, player recruitment, board decisions, and among many other things. Both teams seem to have taken a snooze, taken their feet off the gas, and teams like Man City and Liverpool have grown to take over the rivalry scene. But we are hoping that in this coming decade, as Man United, we will grow and we will improve, and our desire is to get back to our very best. We've not seen that in the past 6 or 7 years or so. Hoping that this trend will stop. The team we have currently has a lot of inconsistencies. We win 1 or 2 games, then the next one we lose, and maybe a draw here. At one point in the season, it was very difficult to even get a goal. I remember the Crystal Palace game where we lost at home. Remember the West Ham game away. Remember recently the Watford game where we were beaten by 2-0. Those are some of the memories that ended the decade for us. But nonetheless, we ended the decade well. We ended the year well, beating both Newcastle and Burnley. I must admit that the Burnley game was a challenge to us, given that most of us predicted that the inconsistency would continue. We didn't expect to really go out there and keep the consistency going after the Newcastle game, and we thank God that happened. The Newcastle game was much easier compared to the Burnley game. The Burnley game is like they didn't want to play football. All they wanted to do is to lob the long balls and make it hard for us. But the moment we scored, it was not easy for them, and so we had the luxury to sit back and wait for them on the counter. As we were waiting for them on the counter, we had a break here and there. A few chances we squandered. There was a Martial chance where Dan James put him through. Then we also had the Rashford chance where he almost squandered, but eventually he managed to squeeze it past the keeper and the defender. The Arsenal always pose a difficult challenge for us. It's never an easy game for us, in as much as in recent times we've won a lot of games against Arsenal, whether it's home and away. We've seen some good results from our team, but it's a game that can go either side. Both managers are not as experienced as what we used to know, having Wenger and Ferguson on the touchline. Right now we have Ole for Man United, who on his CV he has Cardiff and Mulder as the only other clubs he has coached, but you could argue that he's slightly experienced compared to Arteta, although Arteta seemed to have a better schooling under Pep Guardiola, and so he might be able to pull a few things here and there. Having watched the Arsenal versus Chelsea game last weekend, the first half Arsenal dominated until a few issues here and there Lampard decided to tweak a few things here and there, and that is how Arsenal got undone. For our team, I don't expect a lot of change, only that I expect Pogba to return into the midfield. There has been a lot of controversy about Pogba's future. There's a lot of talks about him wanting to leave. His agent, as usual, has been yapping, talking about how Man United destroy players. While it could be true that in the recent past we've not really gotten the best out of players, but having seen what Ole has done, especially with the young players in the past 1 year, is nothing far from remarkable. And so with that, he says that he's really pleased that Haaland did not come to Man United and went to Borussia. This is what I would say about the Haaland issue. I would have loved Haaland to come to Man United, because it would have added us depth in the attack, and also it would have added us some height in the set piece, because we don't score a lot of goals from the set piece. You realize we don't score a lot of goals from the corners and maybe the indirect free kicks, which Haaland would have really been a help to us. But having said that, as a United fan in recent past, I've learned not to expect signings until I see them, and so I won't really say that I was disappointed that Haaland did not come to Man United, given the circumstances. I personally know that Borussia will develop Haaland, because they are good at developing young players. They have a reputation for that. But I'm hoping with Haaland going there, as a club, we can go for Sancho. Maybe since they're still in the Champions League, it will be hard to bring him in January. Maybe bring him in the summer. Having said that, I think the area we still need to strengthen is the midfield, given that now McTominay is out. Pogba is back, but now McTominay is out, could be out for a month or two. I hear it could be up to 2 months, meaning the earliest we expect him could be mid-February or towards the end of February. By the time he gets match rhythm, the season is ended. So we seriously need to strengthen our midfield. The youngsters have not really grown to what we would want them to be, but they're developing slowly, because you can't bring them all at once. You develop them bit by bit based on their pace of development, and as opportunities arise. It is our desire as a club that, or rather as a fan base, that we will see signings in January. I would love to see a midfielder or two come. Even if we don't get a striker in January, if we get an attacking midfielder and maybe one holding midfielder or a box-to-box, that would really add to the squad depth. For today's game, given that we are away and Arsenal are a team that would love to attack, my desire is to see us win the game. I think Ole needs to win this game. We need to start this decade on a strong note. I don't want to start a decade where you find that as a club we lose to a team like Arsenal, especially for our very first game of the decade and our very first game of the year. I wouldn't want to start the year that way. The other motivation would be Chelsea have lost. Have drawn 1-1 against Brighton, and so if we win, we go up to within 2 points of Chelsea. Currently, given that they've drawn and they played a game ahead of us, they are on 5 points ahead of us in 4th place, but we are 5th place, 5 points behind, and I'm hoping we win this game. I hope that is a motivation enough, so we win this game, hoping that the Chelsea will keep dropping points so that we can get into that top 4. As I predicted on the YouTube channel, you can check our YouTube channel, Man United Bonafide. One of most of our clips, I have kept on predicting that we will finish 3rd. I know it's a very controversial and a very bold statement to make, but I still hope that we can finish 3rd. 3rd is still within our reach. I know Leicester will drop points, Man City will finish second. That one I know. Leicester will drop points. It is up to us to keep this consistency going. Let's begin with Arsenal. We can beat Arsenal. I know we can beat Arsenal. In as much as I know we should not take this game for granted, because Arsenal can still win, having seen how they played against Chelsea in the first half. If they can keep that rhythm to the end of the game, and also if Arteta makes certain wise tactical decisions, that would be very, very good. One of the mistakes he did against Chelsea in the last game was that he withdrew a defender, I think, for a striker in a game that was end-to-end. You don't do that for a game that is end-to-end. You only do that for a game that you are dominating, where you dominated possession. Because in the second half, that game was from one end, Chelsea were attacking, then it would turn, Arsenal were attacking, and it was back and forth. And so when he withdrew a defender for an attacker, there was a huge gap in the defense, and that is how Chelsea were able to score their second goal, because the defense was very weak. I'm hoping we'll play for the formation. I'm hoping we'll play a 4-1 to, let me see, a 4-1 4-1 maybe, where we have 4 at the back, we have Fred sitting deep, we have Pogba and someone else, or Pogba playing as a box-to-box and someone else playing the number 10 role. But I would love to see Pogba in the number 10 role, and also see Rashford start. For the Arsenal game, I think Dan James suits the bill better, because Arsenal are an attacking team, and meaning they will leave space behind, and we need someone that can counter attack. So Daniel James is a good bet for me. I would want him to start that game, so that we can have more pace upwards. I'm hoping we can score early goals, like 2 or 3 in the first half. I know that is a lot to ask, but if we can finish this game in the first half, let's try and finish it in the first half. I know Arsenal will make it hard for us, because they have some good attackers. They have Aubameyang, and if Lacazette plays, I know it will also be a very difficult game for us. I know they'll give our defenders a hard time, but the battle will be won in the midfield. If Fred, Pogba, and any other person that will play in the attack will be able to do so, win as balls, keep the ball well, give those killer passes, press well. If our attackers also press well, then I guarantee you we will win this game by a bigger margin. I know we've had inconsistencies as a team, but as I said in my earlier video, as a fan base, we always keep our expectations higher for Manchester United, because we are the biggest club in the world, and that means it comes with a responsibility for the club to always keep us at our very best. The team is not at its best, but that does not mean we can't get results out of this game. I am hoping, my prediction is I want a clean sheet, so I'll go for a 3-0 win, comfortable 3-0 win. Although I know it won't be easy, because it's against an Arsenal team that is not the best, but is not the worst. Of course, they are at their worst position in a long time, but they can still get something out of this game. Let's not take the game for granted. And as much as my prediction is 3-0, it means we need a proper teamwork rather. We need the team to be cohesive. We need to defend well. We need our goalkeeper at his best. In short, what I'm saying, everybody needs to turn up. Like we all turned up against Man City and against Burnley. Everyone needs to turn up for this game. Otherwise, I hope you enjoy the game, and I hope you enjoy your new year. Happy New Year from us. Like the page Man United Bonafide. Like Subscribe to our YouTube channel, Man United Bonafide. We'll resume the weekly reviews soon, after the festive season is done, and so we hope that you'll keep supporting the channel, keep subscribing, keep commenting, keep liking, and also keep sharing. And at the end of it, we'll have an amazing football conversation going on. Otherwise, from me, Happy New Year. I hope in this decade we win the Champions League, and also we get back to dominating the Premier League. From me, it's bye.